And two more. Okay.
I didn't
All
touch the
right.
button this time.
So, with the first pick in the draft, Carolina Panthers select Bryce Young from the University of Alabama. Just thought I'd put that out there.
So you're predicting that for tonight?
What's up, Lisa? Good morning.
Yes, sir. And I think we're gonna do something stupid and select somebody on defense. We need to select somebody on Shroud, but I got a feeling D'Amico.
When you say we, who is we?
The Houston Texans.
The Houston Texans. I didn't know. Like we sound like you French. We.
Yeah. I got a little bit of that in my blood. You know what I'm saying? I got folks from Louisiana down there in Creole, Cajun country. We trying to get that lodge on.
So you still have the Houston Texans in your blood. This is who you're rolling with.
Bro, the Rockets, the Texans, the Astros, the Dynamo.
I just want to see if you went to that new team that you live nearby that lets their fans down all the time. I ain't gonna say the name.
You talking about Dirty Birds now?
Yeah, you letting people down. Kind of like that team with the star in their hat. And
I've always been a hater of that other team up north. Yes, I've always been a hater. That's for sure.
It is the NFL draft tonight.
Yeah. And
what time does it start though? It ain't tonight. It starts in the day.
Yeah, tonight at 7:00, brother.
7:00. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
All weekend long, huh?
Well, look at that. I,
the only reason I really can't really say too much is because we have never, ever won a championship.
Ever?
Ever.
How old is the team? How old is the team, roughly?
The Texans?
Yeah.
1999, I think.
Okay. Oh, no. Okay. Well, you got it.
But I mean, I was all a fan too. Now, I'm just saying. All go back to 19.
Right. Though.
It's like Romper Room.
Obviously.
I see Thomas.
Too bad I can't really.
Lisa and Jeff.
That's so sad.
Hey, Sam.
Oh yeah, there's Samantha. That's some
Ryan doing this ridiculousness. Yeah, Ryan on ridiculous. I would say cuss words, but we on BOL.
Yeah, no cuss words, no cussing on the BOL. It's a morning show.
Yeah.
We'll say that for the late night show. We'll say that for the late night.
Great day. It's a good day to be a Cowboy fan.
You think so?
Yeah. So.
Every day is a good day to be a Cowboy fan.
I thought it was gonna be.
I can't rain on your parade. Do you?
I just you gotta just honor their delusions, grandeur. So you just gotta honor it.
The delusion.
Just honor it because they stick with it. They keep it. I mean, they're like, we America's team. We're this. They claim it. Let them have it.
Right.
Well, let me ask you something. I'll ask you a question. What state is the city of Dallas in?
What state is the city of Dallas in? Georgia.
Georgia?
Yeah, Dallas, Georgia. Yeah, you can look it up.
That's what it is.
Right up the street.
What state is the team the Dallas Cowboys reside in?
Oh, they state is Texas. You're right. It's Texas.
State of Texas.
Shamble.
Yeah, but they're not actually in Dallas. They're not. The team is not in Dallas. They're down south from Dallas.
Right, but I did say state though, right?
Right. I just want to say
just making sure we're following along. Okay, and where is the state of Texas located?
Okay.
In the United States.
The United States of
America.
So when we say America's team,
see, I'm with you right here. But right now you're kind of minimizing the way y'all say it, because you don't say we're a team in America. We're saying we're America's team. It's a big difference. We're America. We're America.
Who is your team?
The Lakers.
So you don't have a football team.
The Rams.
And where are they? Wait, the Rams. Wait, where are they these days? I know they moved a couple of times.
Yeah, you're right. It is one of those things.
When
they left Los Angeles, I left them too.
And I think when they came back, is that what you said? You're Houston fan, Houston Texans. And what's their background? Have they always been the Houston Texans? I'm just trying to.
They have always been the Houston Texans, yeah.
Because when we talk about America, we do talk about stability as unstable as it might be today. But I'm like, you know.
When's the last time y'all won anything?
Huh?
When's the last time y'all won anything?
It wasn't.
Wait. Since I've been a Rams fan, we've had a Super Bowl. I'm just saying.
Really? Oh, well, since I've been a Cowboy fan, we've had 5.
Wait. Since I've been a Rams fan, we've had a Super Bowl in the last few years. When's the last time y'all had a Super Bowl? I just want to know.
Well, so if you continue moving,
when's the last time?
You keep moving.
When's the last time?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about in Los Angeles.
Here's my question.
Los Angeles.
Here's
my question. Look, we moved around. We moved around and did better than the Cowboys.
I really would like to get in between y'all.
That is crazy.
It's funny.
I really would like
to.
They crucified Jesus.
Oh no! Wait, hold on. Time out. No.
Anyways, what's the topic today? It's about building, right?
Building. It's about
building. And the Cowboys ain't built nothing. I'm just kidding.
Let you back in.
It's not sports.
You know what?
I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. Hey, here's one of the things I do know. You can't argue with the. Look, I know this. You cannot argue with the Cowboys fans. So my bad. Okay. They got all the defenses to their excuses ever. So
here's when you know. Here's when you know you're doing well. When 2 people from different teams gang up just to get you, you must be doing something right.
No, that's called intervention. That's called an intervention. That's how the intervention because y'all are delusional.
Everybody came to agreement was to crucify Jesus.
Well, I tell you,
it's hard being on top. It's hard being on top.
Hey.
All right, so listen. We're gonna continue in this line. What are you plucking?
No. That's Brian thumping that Bible.
Oh,
he is thumping that Bible, dude.
Hey, listen, I gotta go where my help come from.
Yeah.
So let's talk about building, right? And I'm glad you brought up the draft, right? When it comes to the draft. Now, who usually gets the pick first? The ones that had the worst record for that year, or who usually gets top pick?
Usually,
yeah.
Team at the bottom.
Gotcha. And the idea is that they get opportunity to pick a great player to kind of help build their team back or build it up. Well, I don't know if they're gonna build it back, but is that
that's the greatest potential?
Okay. Does that usually work? So in history, right? So let's put our team affiliation to the side. Generally, does it work out like if a team struggles at the bottom for a while, they get opportunity to get top picks? Does that make a difference? Have you seen that make a difference? Or does it takes something else that's like a Michael Jordan has to come through the team, just for context, someone great has to come through before they can kind of turn things around? Or is it about the coach?
Just to give you a point of view or reference,
yes.
Every team,
okay,
in all sports, that's hockey, all major 4 sports, hockey, baseball, football, basketball, all of them. Through the draft, that's who they get their perennial or legendary or
the
greatest player in franchise history, from my recollection, always comes through the draft.
Okay. Unless you're a Lakers fan.
No,
we stealing from other teams. We stealing from other teams.
But, if you think about Magic Johnson, now I mean,
and Magic and Kobe, those are
the only one. But you got to think about Shaq and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Right.
They were great,
right,
before they got to the Lakers. You feel what I'm saying? So you can't really count them.
Okay,
they were great before they got to the Lakers. But I'm saying Shaq and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, they were already great before they got to the Lakers.
But just on a broad span, usually
on a broad scale, it's always come through the draft.
Okay,
that's what made Orlando. Orlando was bottom of the barrel, but till they got Shaq,
and
Penny Hardaway, they were the greatest team. But they didn't win it because they had to go up against Olajuwon, who was the greatest of all time as a center. But I'm being biased. But yeah.
But it's interesting, like the building, how you build something, you have to have good fortune, you have to have a good pick, because not everybody makes the right choices in the draft. You can have an opportunity to draft well, like the person who had the opportunity to draft Michael Jordan first and did not draft him first, right? And
now, let me pick it back off there, Tom.
Right.
Since you brought it up, who did they pick right before Michael Jordan? Well, no, a couple of picks before Michael Jordan.
There's two picks before him, and I know who it is, but I can't think of him. And I know that wasn't it Portland picked or something like that.
Sam Bowie,
and someone.
And who else?
I don't know. Oh, Clyde Drexler, was it? Who was it? I can't remember.
Okay.
No, it wasn't Clyde.
Who was it? I don't know. Look it up. Someone Google him in the chat.
Sam Bowie was another one.
I know Sam Bowie was one. Yeah. Sam Bowie was at the ceremony when Jordan was inducted.
But back then,
whoever, you didn't I don't know.
But Jordan wasn't Jordan. Like, the numbers weren't showing him to be great. Like,
again,
first pick was the point.
No,
Olajuwon was the first pick.
Did you Google it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember.
I just know Jordan was 3. Sam Bowie, and then Jordan.
So let's pause on that for a second. So at the time, right? Jordan wasn't the Jordan that we know now.
He was good though.
He was good because he was like
they had a championship.
There's like a third. Okay. So would you say, even in the broad span of sports, it's about the player and it's about the team around him? Would you say that?
Well, at that time, it was about the position because centers ruled the day back then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you had 2 centers picked before Jordan, because it was a center's game back then.
Center's game, right? Okay. The way they
Ralph Sampson.
So now. What is the focus now? And guys, I'm going somewhere with this, so just hang with me. What is the focus now? So it's not a center's game; it's more what kind of game is it now?
Today it's an athlete's game. Yeah. It's the most physical.
That's a good way.
The most physically fit, the most physically gifted players have the most upside in the game today. I mean, you can be shooters, you can have power, but I think that. Everybody is looking for LeBron James today
to be all around,
or Steph Curry. They're looking for Steph Curry, or they're looking for LeBron James. But next year they might be looking for Jimmy Butler.
But the interesting thing, if you think about like some of the better players in the league right now, they're all over the place, kind of, because the MVPs are centers, and then you have the impact players are wing, two-way players.
Two-way players, yeah.
Yeah, and you have like Giannis, who is, they're out now, but he's He's
a three-way player.
Right, he's everything. And so, it all depends. You just find the best athlete, and you do, but still you can do dumb stuff like the Lakers did. They had a chance at Jason Tatum, they had a chance at De'Aaron Fox, who are, amazing players, and they chose Lonzo Ball for the hype, you know?
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
you make a dumb choice like that can set you back.
But you got to think about it. In LA, they're talking about the entertainment value of Lonzo Ball and his dad. That's what that was about, because it's Hollywood. It would have been a great Hollywood story if Lonzo Ball had panned out. I mean, don't get me wrong. Aside from barring his injury, he has turned out to be a pretty good guard in the league.
He isn't Jason Tatum.
But he's average. He's average.
He isn't. So here's the thing: a great Hollywood story is the Lakers. You don't need, you put winning in the Lakers and it's a good Hollywood story. You don't need no extra Lonzo Balls and all the, his dads and everybody around. So
yeah.
Anyway,
but that's where, when you call it a dumb decision, that's where that comes in, because that's what you think you need to do because of the hype and everything. So you make that mistake. That's all that was. I felt like, I agree that it wasn't a smart move. I thought it was a gutsy move. But I never had that much confidence in Lonzo Ball. In fact, I felt like De'Aaron Fox should have been the pick instead of Lonzo Ball, simply based on the fact that you see that they lost to them in college,
and he dogged them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so let me ask this. So, in your humble opinion, right? If we took Jordan and stuck him in another team, do you think that team would have had that championship?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you think it's the player?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. You could have put Michael Jordan on the
Knicks, and they would have finally had a championship.
And the Minnesota Timberwolves would have eventually gotten the championship.
Because the Bulls eventually got it done.
But they got it done with Phil Jackson.
Okay, that's good.
So without Phil, I do not think that Jordan would have had the championships the way he had them.
They got it done because Detroit got old.
No, I think that they actually put a team, the right team, and Phil knew how to make those parts work the right way.
Then you have to say Jerry Krause.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent. I mean, Jordan can't do it by himself. Can any great player do it by themselves? No. None of the great players have ever done it by themselves. But you think about all the great teams that have won, or all the teams that have won, they either had a great team around them with superstar players, or a superstar had a lot of players around them. Coaching matters in every single aspect of it. Coaches have a premium. And so it's sometimes the difference between getting through a series and not getting through a series. Look at Atlanta Falcons. They had a chance to win a Super Bowl. Coaching messed that up by throwing the ball. It's coaching matters. And so I say that Jordan by himself couldn't do it. I think Jordan with the right pieces and the right coach made it happen.
I'm saying, obviously, I agree with you that it's a combination of all of those things. Things kind of came together. What I'm saying is, I believe that Jordan would, because of who he is, he would have been a champion regardless. That's what I'm saying. Because everything about his life showed that. Right? You think about his story and where he came from, and from getting cut to making it to hitting the shot at UNC, all of that. Jordan was, and think about before Phil Jackson came, Jordan still was a beast in the league. He just needed more tools around him. So anybody would have seen what Jordan needed some help, and he would have ended up being successful. I just believe that Jordan was just that determined to be a champion. So I give props to Phil Jackson. He made it work. But I just don't believe, aside from meditation, and you got to remember, Phil Jackson didn't create that offensive scheme.
He did, but he knew how to use it though.
Yeah, I'm saying,
I'll say this: like Kobe and Shaq were together before Phil came, and
it's Lakers, right? When they went to the Lakers,
when he went to the Lakers,
we need
Kobe
context.
and Shaq were together, but they didn't win until Phil came along.
That's okay.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, everything takes time.
Right.
Everything in life, building takes time.
Okay.
And
All right, I'm going somewhere, Jeff. Just hang with us. He said I feel like a ham sandwich at a Jewish farm. Listen, okay.
Out of place.
And listen, I have a point to all of this.
Oh yeah.
With building a team, right? So let me ask the opposite, and try not to go too far down the rabbit hole unless you're gonna give us a lot of context. But if it comes like, have there been great players in the wrong position? Is that is that a thing? Great players in the wrong position, and they found out they're great once they moved to another team. Like, wow. Like I think about, I can't remember his name. I don't know why. He was on the Knicks, the Asian guy.
Jeremy Lin?
Jeremy Lin. Yeah, wasn't he? Hadn't he moved around quite a bit before his greatness came out, kind of thing?
Jeremy Lin was like Jeremy Lin was the perfect storm. Okay. The timing was just
timing.
The need.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He was never going to be a superstar, but everything just aligned for him.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Okay. Or else he'd still be playing.
So he's context. He's not playing anymore, because I was like,
he's not playing in the NBA.
He's not in the NBA. He's overseas.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And so I'm just talking about, Ghanem he's unstable.
He needs to find him another parking lot.
Right. Great play in the wrong position. Yeah. And I just think about, the people you connect to and, the things you're trying to do. Is it possible sometimes that they may be in the wrong position in your life, or you're leaning on them to do something that's not really their strength? You want like someone, hey, I need you to organize. They don't organize. They're just a great upfront man. Like, I could speak the organization. I can't just do the organization. Like, I can't organize this. I can just make it sound good. And I think about it, he's a security kid.
Top flight security.
Top flight of the world, Craig. Sorry.
Some people will get it. Some people won't. But what you're saying, I think it fits in a lot of people's lives, that we find ourselves in different, out of position in things. When we take a job just because of the money, and we stay there a little bit longer, and we hate the job, but we love the money, and we're tied to this job because we tied a whole life around this paycheck, and we're out of position. It never feels like I was supposed to be here, and you're disgruntled. You feel, like you're missing life. And so you just live for the weekend. Let me get to this weekend because I got to do what I got to do. Right. A lot of times we find ourselves just out of position because we don't know any better. We don't have a coach who could come along. One of the things about coaching, and I learned this a while back, is coaching is a voice. It's a drawing voice. It draws the best out of you, and that's why a good coach matters. It's you put a coach in place, they're going to draw the best out of you. And so a person who's just going through life and existing and not finding themselves in, that's why coaching's so good for that. And I'm not tooting coaching because I'm coach, but I toot coaching because it's the drawing voice. It's bringing the best parts of a person and saying, you're not tapping into this part, you're not seeing this, let me big picture something for you, and then bring it down to you individually. And it's important that a lot of times when we're building whatever we're building,
what's
to have multiple
you don't
people
even have to be that. That's the wonderful part about coaching, is you can be an excellent coach having never been an excellent player.
Mm-hmm.
That's you just have to have sight. Right. When I started bowling, I thought I was doing really good until one day the manager of the bowling alley stood behind me and watched me bowl. Knew nothing about me, but he knew about the fundamentals of bowling.
Okay.
And he told me I wasn't bending my knees enough, bending my release. My knee was not bent enough. I wasn't getting low enough.
Wow.
And at first it was painful. And I'm like, this dude is crazy. Right? But over time, it was pain because my knee wasn't used to being exercised or used or flexed like that. But as I built up the endurance and my knee got stronger, my bowling improved.
Right.
So the great part about coaching is that someone has an opportunity to watch you do what you do without being in there with you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what you're talking about, Thomas. You need to have somebody that can stand on the outside looking in and let you know what you look like. Let you know how you're performing, right? And they can see your gifts and your talents by watching you and help you exploit, if you would, your gifts and your talents. So that's why coaching is so important. You always need to have somebody looking at what you're doing, monitoring what you're doing, to give you pointers about how you look. I tell people all the time, you can enjoy what you do. You can feel like you're the best at what you do, but there's nothing like someone standing by and picking the lint.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was thinking, like, as Brian was talking, that, the person sitting back, you also have to trust that person. You have to trust their opinion enough to go through some pain sometimes. So Brian was saying, like, I'm not low enough, but man, this hurts. But he trusted what the person was saying enough to let me keep doing it. Let me continue to follow the instruction. And then he sees the beauty of it is like, oh, he was right. I am better. I went through the pain. Now this is my normal rhythm. My normal rhythm allows me to build better. So now I've taken what he's given me. I've taken other advice from other places or other information, and now it's helping me bowl that 300 that I've been looking for, right? And you can't build unless you have multiple perspectives on things, multiple angles, and you're willing to listen to all the process, all the people who are speaking into the process, and sometimes you have to go through the pain.
Yeah.
So let me ask this. So, he said, yes, I have to trust you before I'll let you tell me. But
how do you get that trust? Like, this is a total stranger, that told them this. Sometimes it's just a matter of letting people looking at yourself through the lens of other people's eyes. Because a lot of times when we're building, we think we have everything we need, but unless we let other people speak into that process, and we just listen to them, sometimes we will miss it. We'll miss the opportunities that are right in front of us. And and I can see many times in my life where I'm better because of other people, and where I missed opportunity because I did not listen to other people.
Right. See, that's the part, like that piece right there. That's why it's so important to understand foundation, fundamentals, basics, because going back to bowling, I had a conversation with a guy a week ago in the bowling alley who said he was just getting back into bowling. He got a nice hook on his ball. His ball was spinning and coming around, but it was all over the place, right? And he was telling me that he bowled in college. Okay. I'm like, well, I can tell you got some skills. But he watched me and my consistency, and he started asking me, how long I had been bowling and stuff. And I told him I was just getting back into it.
Right.
He said, man, you look like you've been bowling for a long time. I said, man, I'm getting the rust. I'm shaking the rust off. He said, well, how do you? I said, well, tell me what you do when you bowl. He said, well, my coach in school told me, I got to make the ball hit between the first and the second pin.
Wow.
Right. In that little pocket. Right. I said, yeah. So that's your aim, the first and second pin. He goes, yeah. With my hook, if I can hit that. Right. And I kept thinking to myself, going back to what the guy told me, because I remember pin bowling. It's called pin bowling when you're looking at the pins.
Okay.
And you're aiming for the pins.
Okay.
And I learned a very critical lesson about the fundamentals of bowling. The coach told me, find your spot on the floor.
Right.
See, there's arrows on the floor.
The arrows.
Right.
And he said, what most people miss about bowling is they're focused on the pins. The pins become their target.
Right.
And a lot of people are unsuccessful because they're shooting for the wrong target.
Right.
What he said was, your target is on the floor. He said, and here's why. if you can master the fundamentals of bowling, because it's all about consistency and repetition, your body, your ball, you do the same thing every time so that the ball can do the work. Your approach, how you release, the rotation, all of that stuff, you master that, and then find the spot on the floor where when you release the ball, where the ball will hit that pocket. Right. So if you can find the right, so for instance, there's about 20 arrows. I can't remember 10. No, there's 10 arrows, I think. So there's 10 arrows on the floor, and most people don't even know they're there. He said, find your spot, aim for your arrow on the floor, and when your ball hits that pocket, you do that over and over again. You do the same thing over and over and over again. Just find your spot. And if you don't hit your spot, move your feet. Don't move the ball. Don't move your target. Just move your feet and keep aiming for the same target. So that when you master bowling, it's all about moving your feet. Get your eyes off the pins. I heard
that's a good word right there.
Right.
Listen, somebody just lost a basketball game last night. And here's what I heard him say. This was Giannis. Giannis said, everybody expected us to be in the championship this year. He said, we were aiming for the championship. Miami was just aiming to beat us. They had we had the wrong target. We were already we were aiming for the championship instead of focusing on who was playing us right now today. And that's how we lost. So what I learned in bowling is make sure you're aiming for the right target. And I had to hear that from a stranger who knew more about the game than me.
Yeah.
That's why coaching is important, because this guy that I was talking to been bowling for years. And he had not heard that. He was telling other people to do what he was telling me. And I'm like, that doesn't work.
Right.
That's good.
But that's a part of building. It's like knowing what you're aiming for. You can't just go out there and haphazardly think I'm going to throw a dart and I'm going to hit my target. I teach a lot of times, and again, this is fun stuff. I teach in my classes a lot of times where we don't have a target. We just throw a bunch of darts, and wherever the dart hits, we go over and draw the bullseye around the dart and say, see, I hit my target. And instead of having the target first and knowing that, everything I'm doing is to hit this target, what are the steps that it takes to get there? How am I going to build in order to get to this next level? But again, we have to be intentional about where we're going. If you have no intentionality about what your targets are, you don't know how to even move your feet to hit that target. But I love that part. Like, you don't move what you're doing, you keep the same thing, but move your feet. Keep moving in the direction that's necessary, positioning yourself. And I often tell people, positioning yourself is one of the most important things ever, because you never know what comes out of being in position. There are times where people have missed many opportunities because they were out of position. Like, they knew I have the skill and I have the ability to do something, and an opportunity comes up, but because you're out of position, you can't take that opportunity at the time. And then you look back and you say, if I were, back then I had this chance and I had this and but you were out of position for that moment. And it's important to always be in position when you're looking at building your team, building around it, or building yourself, just growth in general.
That's good. That's good. I just want to point out, whenever we play against Brian, the goal is just to see who can get the closest to Brian's score. That's our winner.
Why does he always want to go out bowling? Why does he doesn't want to go do something else? Listen, why Brian always want to bowl?
Listen, I'm always shook when anybody rolls up with a bag. I'm like, oh, this dude got bags and he got his own shoes. He's just paying for the lane. Like, we in trouble. Look,
he got his little towel out. He got his little towel out, shining his ball up.
Hey, you know
what?
And
he's shining. I'm like,
you know what?
Shining his little ball.
Funny story. I'll never forget, this guy came up to me once I was bowling, and he said, man, you shine your ball after every roll. I'm like, why did it? And I kept bowling. I looked over and I saw him shining his ball.
He's like, I don't need nothing on here disrupting this.
If it works for him,
Right.
I like to start with a clean ball. I don't like to come into a fresh lane with residue from an old game.
Right. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Do you even have a specialized towel for that?
I do. I do. But here's the thing: if you love bowling,
right?
Why wouldn't you own your own shoes? Why wouldn't you have your ball?
Right.
No doubt.
It's like playing baseball. Why wouldn't you have your own bat, your own glove?
Right.
You know, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Your own cleats.
Let
me borrow your cleats real quick.
If you bowled more than 10 times in the last 3 years, you should own your own equipment.
In the last 3 years?
3 years. The last.
Not 10 times a year, but 10 times the last 3 years.
The last 3 years. Yeah, because if you're an adult, your feet aren't going to get any bigger. So why do you keep paying for shoes? And the shoe, like, just put them in the closet. And when you go bowling, grab your bag, grab your ball and your shoes, and go. And that way you're only paying $3 for your game. Why do you keep giving your money away?
And you ain't getting athlete's feet.
Right. From somebody else's foot. Right. Right. Uh-oh.
Sorry about that. It's my travel computer. He wants to do its own thing.
I've seen Ryan Bowl. He said I've seen Ryan Bowl. He's a ninja. He's out there massaging his shoes, buffing his ball. He does have the wrist brace too. Like, hey, good morning. Good morning. The Thomas Crown affair. Remember that movie? Yeah. So today I just kind of want to talk about building a team and the essentials of those that are around you. Make sure they're in the right place. And understanding where they're coming from. I think about not Phil Jackson, Knicks. He went from the Lakers. I could see his face. He was with the Knicks when they looked like they had a chance back in the 90s.
And who did he play for? You say he played for another team?
I think coach. He coached the Lakers, I think, and then he coached the Knicks.
Jeff Van Gundy? No.
I was gonna say Pat Riley, but he didn't play in the 90s.
Pat Riley. It is Pat Riley.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
Pat
right.
Riley.
He went from Lakers to Knicks to Miami. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I didn't think about it.
He wasn't playing in the 90s. That was Allen Houston.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, but he was a great coach as well. But with coming to the Knicks,
he
is a great coach.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my bad.
Not was.
He is. He's still around.
He's still. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I know who's on the sidelines for the Heat, but Pat Riley has much influence.
Well, I'll say this: another mark of a good leader is if you can replicate leadership. And I think he took Eric Spoelstra, a videographer, and made him a head coach of an NBA team. Yeah. And he took the sideline back from him one time and gave it back to him.
Yeah.
And the thing is, can I put this person on the sideline, give him the tools that are necessary to become a good coach, and let him take my job, which is such a great leadership move,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Coach Riley is probably one of the best to ever do it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He is one of the best to ever do it. So.
Absolutely.
In any sport.
Yep.
Yep. Top flight security got Kaneem in custody, huh?
Let's see. Good morning. Hey, Ashley is in the building. She said, y'all got bowling alley. Almost all of ours are gone. Wow. She's in Florida. I think it was Jacksonville at one point.
That's a shame.
Yeah. I mean, we got tons.
Look,
we got tons.
So y'all know I live in Las Vegas now, but there are bowling alleys everywhere in Las Vegas.
Right.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Wow. So you want a bowling alley? Come to Las Vegas. Got 50,000 million of them.
I bowled my best game ever in Vegas.
There's a spot around the corner from my house. So if you ever come, we're going bowling there. It's a pro bowling alley where they do a lot of the pro stuff at.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they got, I don't know, 100 lanes. I don't know. So, yeah. So it's pretty cool.
I just said yes, Vegas. Yes, he's in Vegas.
Yeah, I'm in Vegas.
So
I work in Atlanta.
I love
though.
what you said though about leadership. about good leadership knows how to replicate itself. There's something about that. I don't care how great you are, if you don't have someone coming behind you. Your greatness was because you were being pulled by someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So who are you pulling as a leader? Or even if you're not a leader, you should be growing and evolving into a leader, but always have somebody coming behind you. Always pour.
Mm-hmm.
We get filled, but we need to make sure that we're pouring out what we're getting filled up with in terms of content, information. I think that's critical, man. So many people die with the microphone in their hand.
Yeah, it's interesting. Go ahead.
Without passing it to the next person.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. When we think about leadership and passing on what like I'm willing to give everything that I had to pay for. I had blood, sweat, and tears to grow into. I'm willing to give it all away. But a lot of people aren't willing to accept that kind of leadership or responsibility because there's so many different things, so many different aspects of how you're going to grow in your life. And at times people want it, they think they want it, but when you have to get into it, it's not really the route that a lot of people want to take. It takes a special person who wants to step into that position, who wants basically all that smoke. Eric Spoelstra, who's the coach of Miami, he had some shoes to fill, and he came from nothing, and he said, "I want it all. Give it to me."
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest coach. He's a great coach now. I mean, he's going to be recognized as a great coach because he wanted it, and he whatever it had. Look, to get pulled off the sideline and get replaced, and then get put back on the sideline. That takes humility. It's like, what? Okay, what did I do? I need to learn. Something's missing here.
Mm-hmm.
You have to assess yourself sometimes and recognize that there's some things that are holding us back, or holding me back. So there's something I have to do to shift here. He was willing to do that shift. He was willing to say, right now, this is what I need to do to be better.
Yes.
And in leadership or even building a team, everybody has to want to push in the right direction too. If you're building a team, you can't have everybody going different ways.
Right.
Everybody wanting to think their leadership style is better. You have to be willing to listen to the person who's leading, and when your opportunity comes, then you're able to implement your things to that project or whatever it is. If you're building an organization, everybody has to be on the same accord.
Right.
I'm starting to watch reruns of the SWAT series, right? And there's I'm probably in the second episode, and one of the things about it is Hondo gets this position that another person was supposed to get, right?
Right.
And he was supposed to have this, and he made a decision to not listen to the other person, and it went bad.
Right.
And he came back and he apologized. He said, what, I probably should have listened to you because I was trying to, to exert my authority over this team when I know that you have so much to offer. Right. So if we're looking at how we build teams, it's really recognizing the dignity of everybody has something to offer and be willing to pour into that whole team so that you can actually build in the right way and have something that's sustaining and have longevity there.
Right. How do you build a cohesive team? Like I said, yes, everybody on the same page ish. How do you build a cohesive team, right?
Well, I think it's first of all, you have to recognize who the team players are, right?
Okay.
There's a goal, there's an objective, right? How do I meet this objective? There's a process to meeting or negotiating the objective. So now you have to analyze your team. Who plays what role? Right. There have to be descriptions, responsibilities. That's what I love about the discussion of covenant agreement. Everyone has to agree to a certain level of responsibility and accountability. Right. Here's your role in order for us to meet this goal. Make sure, to your point, everyone has to be properly positioned. Know the makeup. The Bible says, know them that labor among you. right? And make sure that everyone understands what the goal is, and everyone understands the tactical plan, the strategy in order to accomplish the goal. And when you can get everyone speaking the same language, but operating independently in their lane, in their role, the more effective you'll be and more efficient you'll be in achieving that goal. Now, those are just some fundamental things. Obviously, there's more to it, but having a plan,
right,
making sure that having a vision, building a plan, a strategy, and making sure that that is effectively communicated, assigning responsibility, knowing your team, knowing their gifts and their talents, and being able to put them in position to maximize their gifts and their talents are a lot of the fundamentals that will help you get there.
Yeah. I think you got to choose up front the right way too. You know, don't be in a rush. It's not, this is a process, you know, it's not something that you got to, it's a developmental process. You don't have to be in a rush. You don't have to be rigid up front, but be very intentional about the people you're going to choose for that team also.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have people who are willing to support and really honor them in those positions. You have to have a leader that honors the people that are working with them, understanding that without certain people, you can't get things done.
Right. Right.
I will say, like, a person like Lisa, who's on here, you know, she's over there on YouTube.
Yeah.
But Lisa is like an amazing person to work with because she gets stuff done.
Right.
She knows her part, and like it's easy to work with somebody when I'm lacking in this area and she's strong in an area. And I'll, you know, it's one of those things where coming together, and all we do is we develop this, you know, whatever it is we're working on, we develop it. There's a role, there's a place, and we just move it forward. And I would say, like, you know, finding people who you work well with, people that they're not about ego, they're not about who gets credit. It's not about any of that. It's about how do we get this done, what we're trying to get done. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're gonna get ready to close. Right from here. He has a call to jump on. Tom's gotta get out of here too. But before we go, I just want to show this disrespectful picture. When I met Thomas, I thought he was one height. I obviously was very wrong. I thought I'd be like either looking at him like this or looking at him like this. But obviously, I'm gonna need to look up to him. He is much taller than I expected. So we appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us. Make sure you share, sharing is caring. Join our text community. Text LW into 84576. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, same time, same channel. Appreciate you, Thomas, for coming on. He has a presentation today. Definitely want to hear about it either tomorrow if he can be here or next week. We'll definitely talk about it. Brian, thank you for always being here and being supportive and part of our conversation. And shout out to Kaneem. I know he was trying to hang with us, but his signal was bad, or maybe he got caught or accosted. Top flight security.
Security.
Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.
You know why Thomas, like the mistake of Thomas's height is because Thomas's camera always
like this, right?
A lot
like
of space at the top.
Right.
So he sits low in his camera, right? Yeah. So it gives the impression that he's not a very tall person.
Yes.
So
maybe I need to be like this, like
like I told AD, just let everybody know I'm 6'6" and you're 6'3". So you
No doubt. He said, keep me out of the pic. You think you're an Oz. So I appreciate it, Mama Corey. All right, we're going to go. Know that we love you. Jesus loves you better. And 988, if you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis, make sure you dial 988. All right, continue to stay safe, make good choices, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, so peace out, be safe, and do the right thing.